Everyone, welcome to another Music Talk Tuesday, and today I thought it would be interesting to briefly discuss talent and practice, since that is two major factors that I think significantly impact the music industry, although I think they are diminishing more significantly nowadays, and I'll sort of go into the specifics of why that is. I apologize, this video had to be delayed. Unfortunately, I was experiencing a headache. Over this Tuesday, and also on Wednesday I wanted to make sure that I was able to finish the book that I wanted to review, but everything should be caught up by the end of today as a Thursday. So without further ado, I think when it comes to discussing talent and practice is the fact that it really does depend on the musician that you're talking about, but these two factors I think definitely influence uh, every particular artist out there. And when it comes more specifically to music, I'd say that usually there is a mixture of these two at play here. In other words, there are a lot of musicians in particular that possess sort of innate talent, and I think you could sort of find that within every musician. And you can also find certain aspects to them that focus on them really practicing their craft and enhancing it by doing so. Uh, I think, though, the blend in which these two factors play a role really does depend on the musician, because sometimes there may be a more of an innate talent in a musician as opposed to practicing, because they can just be so good that they really don't need to even really practice all too much, because they pick up playing music and uh, singing a lot quicker than maybe somebody else. Uh, Whereas maybe some other musicians high more heavily on being able to practice their craft and really try to enhance it, even though the talent may still play a role, it just doesn't play as much of a significant role. So again, these two kind of teeter off sometimes, and obviously you could have sort of maybe 50-50 here and there of musicians who'll probably say that both talent and practice play an equally significant role. But I think it definitely depends on who you're talking to and who you're talking about. So, unfortunately, though, I think now within the music industry, I think we've seen a shift of, instead of focusing on specifically talent and hard work, we're instead trying to base everything more so on image, um, and less on the musician's abilities. So you'll have tons of people that will end up sort of producing a song, uh, and you'll just have the one musician or artist just sing the song, or maybe not even necessarily uh, do anything else. Although obviously there are artists who take more of a significant role as far as the production of the music. It seems that part of it is really diminishing significantly. A lot of that can, I think, be attributed definitely to autotune, considering the fact that now you can really enhance and make everything sort of perfect, um, as opposed to before, where you had to just rely on your capabilities as a musician. So again, this whole concept of possessing some forms of talent and practice are not as important, unfortunately, anymore. And you could definitely say that these two aspects could be diminishing across various industries and not just music itself. But it seems like music has taken a significant hit because of this shift in making it more about personality and getting attention and being provocative, as opposed to actually genuinely pushing forward some interesting ideas and concepts onto the audiences and enhancing their way of thinking. You know, So, and I think, again, music I think is very important to development as far as our brains, because again, there is a lot of impact in science that can be said about uh, music and as far as people's musical tastes. And again, I think um, this lack of focusing on the genuineness of people's talents and their uh, dedication to the craft is really what's making music nowadays a lot less, I'd say, enjoyable and unfortunately not as creative or as innovative or interesting. And again, I think there's definitely a focus more towards image. Within the past, usually image didn't really necessarily play that much of a role with musicians. Usually musicians were primarily just kind of average people. You kind of felt like they were someone that you would encounter on a daily basis. Whereas musicians nowadays, again, they're more so. Um, there seems to be this sort of more of a elitism uh, because there is a huge emphasis on looks and on uh, image and how provocative and uh, crazy you can be, and not about your capabilities. And that's really the underlying point that I think I wanted to address because, again, I think they do play significantly an important role. And I think talent and practice is, I think, a good sort of mixture and blend. And I think, again, talent and practice are sort of what makes anyone specifically good at their particular profession that they do. Is the fact that they do possess some kind of talent and interest towards it, and they also have the practice and whatnot. But again, obviously, this totally depends too on the individual because sometimes some people can just be really smart and therefore they're very good at a certain thing and therefore they have a certain talent for it or knack for it. So again, it's really these two blends are really what has driven the music industry um, over the years, and unfortunately now that is diminishing. Um, but I think though that's really all I can say about this topic. I mean, I'd be more than happy to hear what anybody else is saying in regards to what they think as far as this whole uh, conversation as far as talent and practice is concerned. Um, it'd be nice to see a resurgence of talent and practicing being more of the main focus of music. Unfortunately, I think that is deeply lacking. Um, and is just kind of being replaced with the sort of uh, genericness that we see today. But yeah, I think that's really ultimately though all I can say. Though, if there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care.